Alright, this is a basic deck tech overview of the Krasis Bomb Gates Edition. Obviously the combo is to use your Thud with a massively oversized Krasis and hurl it at their face to kill them. It's very fun. Other than that, for the most part, it's a traditional Gates deck. Card overview, the two Gaia's Blessings are primarily for mill insurance, as long as one of them's in your library. At any given time, you're pretty much immune to being milled. If you get one, you use it so that it goes into your graveyard. That way, if you draw the second one, you use it, you make sure you put the first one back into your library. Keeps you pretty much immune from mills. Other than that, it allows you to, a little bit of card draw, it replaces itself, it's cheap, and it lets you pick three primary game winners that you can put back in your deck. The growth spirals, they're for ramp. This deck has a very low survivability if you're not up and able to actively eliminate board threats on turn 3, and that's really tricky to do sometimes. Before guild summits, these are the bread and butter of your card draw. Once you've got one down, every time you drop a gate onto the game board, you draw a card. That means when you're using Circuitous Route, you're drawing 2 cards as soon as you cast it. The Gates Ablaze, these are your, anything from early game to late game board removal. They're definitely primary targets for Gaia's Blessing to get put back in the deck. Your Rams, which are your early game plays, as early as turn 3, they can be a 5/5, I believe. And they'll have vigilance and trample, so they're a good early board threat and blocker to keep you alive. Circuitous Routes, these are your land ramp. It's absolutely essential that you get these out on turn 4 if you're not going to die otherwise, because it means everything you do after that is going to be much, much more effective. The Cleansing Novas, a lot of people don't run these in this kind of deck. And for one, if you're behind in the creature game, if they've just got threats on the board and you don't, it eliminates that threat. Doesn't give them anything for it, like Settle the Wreckage. But more importantly, if you're in a mirror deck against another Gates deck, and they're ahead, say they've got a guild summit out, maybe they've got 2 guild summits out, maybe they've got a Search for Azcanta out, and maybe they've got 1 or 2 of their Gate Colossus out. Well, a Cleansing Nova to destroy all artifacts and enchantments eliminates all of those threats. Yeah, they'll eventually get their Gate Colossus back, because it doesn't exile it, but at the same time, it's getting rid of any guild summits that are going to help pull those to the front quickly. Getting them back on the board the same turn they died is usually what you strive for with a Gate Colossus if you play it right. The Mending of Dominaria, again, it's a little bit of mill protection. There's a lot of Nexus mill decks out there that don't have any other win condition other than milling you. And it's conceivable if they pull a counterspell on your second Gaia's Blessing while your first Gaia's Blessing is already in the graveyard, then they can safely mill you from there. This is a little bit of protection from that. It also allows you a little bit of the Golgari-style return creature from the graveyard to your hand, which lets you reuse the Gatebreaker Ram that can sometimes just get killed by, something like a Ritual of Soot. The Archway Angels, these are your primary source of life gain. If you can wait until turn 6 or turn 7, a lot of times it can be a 14-point swing. The Gate Colossus, this is the backbone of the deck. These get incrementally cheaper. It's an 8/8 for 8, which is bad, but you're never ever going to spend 8 mana of any kind to cast this. On turn 4, you technically can't cast it. Unless you've done a circuitous route, which I guess isn't possible on turn 4. But on turn 5, if you've got all gates out, this costs 3, and you have 4 usable mana, even if you're dropping a gate. The Hydroid Krasis, this is, it's your life gain, it's your card draw, it's your flying, trampling, over-the-top threat, and it's also another prime source for being pulled back with Gaia's Blessing back into the deck so that you can just redraw it and do it all over again. Mass Manipulation, this is the other counter to another gate deck. If they've managed to get, 2 of their Archway Angels out and they're cycling them from their graveyard with stuff, and they've got 2 of their, Colossus, Gate Colossus out, you can grab all the important stuff and just bring it to your side. And if generally what decides who wins a gate mirror, from what I've seen, is who draws Mass Manipulation and can actually fulfill the 4 blue mana requirement, which can be difficult. Your gate situation, you're playing 4 colors. It's not easy. The lands are complicated. 3 Azorius Guild Gates. Again, the gates are the butter. Every one you put in makes everything in your deck better. So ideally, you want to get to 10 or 15 of these as quickly as you possibly can. If you're not going to die and you have the opportunity to spend your mana to get more Guild Gates down, about the only thing I would prioritize above that is a Guild Summit, because the Guild Summit's going to give you so much card draw that you're going to be able to use all of that land that you're putting into play. The One Hallowed Fountain, it's Pain Land. You hope you have it on turn 3. It allows you to speed things up. Ideally, you want your turn 3 play to be one of your shock lands, or if you've been playing 2 Guild Gates, one of your Plazas of Harmony, because at that point it's giving you the life gain, and it mirrors any other gate you have, so meeting the requirements for like Mass Manipulation, which requires 4 blue. If you've got a Simic Guild Gate down and you've got both of your Plazas and one isn't, you're there. You've got that part of the requirement met. The rest of these are they're either the Guild Gates for the appropriate color, or it's a single Pain Land. A lot of decks run some basic lands. A lot of decks run 4 Plazas of Harmony. But honestly, the Plaza of Harmony is there. You hope to get it on turn 3. Anytime after that, it's still decent, but it's one of the few lands that doesn't improve actively almost every other card in your deck. Other than that, it's just the rest of the Guild Gates. I've only gotten the Thud off on a Krasis for a kill once. Most of the time, sure that works. Most of the time when you summon something like a 17/17 Krasis, they just concede and they don't wait around for you to thud them with it. And in the general play queue, which is what I've been testing it in, it's run the gamut. That sound was really loud. Alright. This is a keeper. It has red mana for Gates Ablaze. It's got 3 Guild Gates, Now it's got a Gatebreaker Ram. Alright. Gates Ablaze is going to be of limited use here if they're reassembling Skeleton is any indication. Assuming we have removal, most happy with them taking the Gate Ram, which also stops them from pinging me for the moment. Does have Vigilance and Trample. Acrobat is an interesting choice. I don't see anything yet that is deserving of a Gates Ablaze. I doubt he's getting anything that has more than 3 toughness into play, which is what I can kill with the Gates Ablaze. There's a Judith, which does ramp things a bit. I'm fine with trading here. I want to preserve my life for the moment. Not really feeling enough pressure to fire off that Gates Ablaze yet, but they are building up a nice little stockpile of nastiness in there. But I'm 1 more mana away from a Archangel, and they don't have any counter spells, so heals are coming. You have all those cards. They're not that good. Alright. They probably have removal. It is the deck for it. But let us at least present the threat and make them use it. Alright. What can you do with 7 mana? Okay. I don't need both of the angels. Would have liked another Guild Gate there. But I'll make do. 17 is a reasonable health to be at. Fine trading off with the Acrobat. I'm fine if they want a combat trick that. Or I guess they'll just ping me for 1. Spend their mana that way. I would hope with all that stuff they'd have better uses for it. There you go. That's better use. Shit. I do not have enough to Gates Ablaze that dude. Alright. Alright, that's game. When you draw like that, you get beat. When he draws like that, he wins. This is a very tough keep. I think I've just got to mulligan here. Alright, this is better. It's got ramp at least. I think I can get to that, but I don't think it's worth it. I need better stuff. Got some early life game with the Harmony on turn 3. Got a Growth Spiral on turn 3 as well. Got a Gatebreaker Ram if I want to push on turn 3. Alright. Pretty happy with that. Alright. Like some blue and red. Some blue and green. This covers all of my mana bases for pretty much anything I want to cast. Here on out, it's just all gravy for the effects and the Krasis pump. When it's following suit. Let me refill my hand. It's kind of garbage. Alrighty. Get that pain land in. See what kind of removal he's got for that. Nothing else will have an impressively sized Krasis to cast. Otherwise, I'm kind of hoping he throws down some planeswalkers so I can take them from him. No. Just drawing cards and gaining life. Alright. I would play that game too, but I haven't drawn my angels. That is not my angels. Time for that removal. I don't have any basic lands, so that's kind of pointless. Not really a great time for the Krasis. Perfect time for that. Good time for this as well. Take that. That. And that. We want all those. And I want to cast that. Go with a couple of Izzet Gates. And I think we're done. Okay. Proven he can ramp with the best of them. Kind of crazy that ramp is converted into, from 1/1 Llanowar Elves to turn 4 Circuitous Route. That's totally fine. I got plenty of gates. Well, I have one. We don't need another card. Let's see. $17, so that's 15-point Krasis, which is pretty fun. Okay. Five cards, huh? Well, I really don't need another. Mass manipulation is doing much good, but at the same time, I'd hate to get rid of it. All right. Cleansing Nova. We'd like to try and use it once the mending of Dominaria finishes. Gets all those lands it's been dumping in there into play. Okay. I can wait. Prepare to be bored. Okay. We got like 7 more of those? Or 2 more of those? Confused, but okay. Maybe this time? Okay. Got 3 blue. I'm sure he's got counters. If I do it carefully, I do have enough to do 2 cleansing novas. Okay. Guess he's just trying to get another one? I don't know. I'm not sure what the purpose of all that was, but there you go. Oh yay, gems.